Hi guys, welcome to another speed build. It's been a little while since I've uploaded a speed build. I do apologize. I did a couple of cast videos in a row and then well, I've been slack with my uploading. I explained it in my last video. I had a lot going on with work and I've had some health issues, but also I've been playing The Sims 3 a lot and I'm the worst human ever. I've just been playing the game for myself. I'm super into The Sims 3 at the moment. I'm undecided whether I'm going to post any Sims 3 videos. I had planned on doing like a current household update, but I'm having problems with my like recording software and The Sims 3. It just hates it. So we'll see. But anyway, welcome to the first video in what I hope to be a series of many builds based around houses and architecture in Melbourne. So, you know, whether it be an apartment, I might just be doing like a room build even. I don't know. I haven't decided like the rules yet, but basically this is just going to be a bunch of speed builds focused around homes that you see around Melbourne. And it doesn't necessarily mean that these are houses you can only find in Melbourne, because as is with this video, terrace homes aren't a strictly Melburnian thing. Like there's some in San Francisco, they're a little bit different though. But the same sort of idea. There's some in Sydney. I'm sure there's some in other cities in Australia as well. I just know Melbourne is really, really well known for its terrace houses, terrace homes, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, I have actually made these before and uploaded them to the gallery. So I'll link my original version down below, which I do really like, but I've made these a little bit smaller, which I like a lot more. And I've made them, I don't know, a little bit plainer, a little bit more ordinary looking, but I think it's more true to what you see driving around Melbourne. Whereas the other ones are a little bit more colourful, they're a little bit more funky, whereas these are just like your stock standard terrace houses. There's a couple of pauses in this video that I couldn't find to edit out because I was watching Sex and the City while I was building and I had to keep changing the episodes because I was illegally streaming it. But anyway. Yeah, so this is 3 terrace houses on one lot. The lot is facing the wrong way, so on the gallery you don't get a very good view of the houses unless you actually click on it, so I'm sorry about that, but I couldn't find a lot in Newcrest that was the right size for what I wanted, so yeah. And I do put some, like neighborhood, like furnishings around to make it look sort of like it is on a street. So we put some cars there, we put like a parking meter, we do some like cage fencing around, make it look like there's some like street walkways in between the houses and like around the houses and that. So this is based off some houses. I actually haven't been inside the houses, but I've walked around them before in a suburb just outside of the CBD. You can like walk behind them and then it leads into like a car park and then there's like a shopping centre with like a grocery store and stuff. So it's kind of based off that, but also just a bunch of images on Google and my own memory from driving around Melbourne. But I have such a fascination with these kind of houses. I think they are so cute, especially the heritage listed ones. I think most of them are heritage listed. I'm having trouble speaking. I had an Oreo before I started recording this video voiceover, so my mouth's all like chocolatey. And yes, did you know Oreos are vegan? Well, they're dairy free. They do have like a little disclaimer on them that they may contain traces of milk because they're machinery, like because of cross contamination, I guess. But I mean, I don't know, it's good enough for me. It's Easter, it's my treat. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, I had an Oreo before I started recording this and I should have had a drink of water because now I'm all like all chocolatey. Lovely, I'm making mouth noises at you. This is a 10 out of 10 commentary, voiceover, whatever so far. I was going to try to use these little roof decorations because they do look like what you actually see. Like they look more legit because it's one object, but it doesn't work very well with the roof. So I've done them with like mimicked it kind of with a half wall. I don't know what my voice just did, that I'm really sorry. But I've tried to mimic like the roof with a half wall. And I don't know, it looks alright. I think it actually looks better than what I did last time. So, like I said, I'll link both down below. You can compare for yourself. But I think these are a better version. even though they're probably not as, they haven't got as much personality, but obviously I'm just building. I only do a tiny bit of furnishing in this video. I'm just building for now, so I mean the personality is going to come when I actually add some objects and, you know, the layout and that. So interestingly enough, being a heritage listed house, you can't change too much about the exterior of the homes. You've got to preserve the original design, I guess, and you can renovate the homes. So like you see a lot of them where the way that the rules are for heritage listed homes is, even if you own a home, you've got to abide by these rules. You can't change anything about the front, so anything that faces the street that's going to change the look of the house. You can't change anything. If something needs replacing, you need to find something that fits in with it. So like just say a light breaks or it's vandalized. If you can't find that exact same light, you need to find something as close as possible. And I think from what I read, I was reading quite a while ago, it was months ago, I think you need to replace the other light to suit that. So it's all matching, so it's not mismatched, but I don't know, I might just be completely making that up. So you can't renovate the front, you can't have, I don't think you can put like your own decorations on the walls and stuff. On the inside, the front room, it's usually like a hallway, and then there's like the front sitting room or lounge area. I mean, oh my god, I can't talk. They're not huge houses. Some of them you can get up to like a 3-bedroom, which I think is pretty cool considering they're so small and so compact. You can renovate any room that's not like the front room that you can see through the windows into, and you can renovate the back as well. What you can't touch is the flooring. The flooring has to remain the same in the front room. The other rooms, from what I've read, you can change the floorboard, so you could refurbish the floors if they're all, you know, yucky and old. The walls you can change, obviously not in the front room. Any like ceiling roses, skirting boards, architraves and that are like a feature in the house, you can't change. So if you're like one of the back rooms, there's this big ugly ceiling rose. Actually, I say ugly, but I love ceiling roses. I think they're so cool. But just say there's this big intrusive like ceiling rose. You can't do anything about it. You've got to leave it there because you will, I don't know, do you get fined or like do you get the house taken off you? Like, no, you're not allowed to have this house anymore, even though you paid for it. A lot of money for it too. You can rent these. A lot of them are rentals, but they're worth like, I don't know. I was just looking before I started this voiceover whilst I was eating my Oreo. I think the last one I could find was in Fitzroy, which is not in the Melbourne CBD, but it's in Melbourne, for 2.1 million? Or maybe it was 1.2. One of those numbers, a little bit of difference between them. But yeah, I think it was 2.1 million, and it was a 3-bedroom. It was really nice. Like, it had been fully renovated. The outside was all new and modern. It had like these big like glass like opening French doors at the back, like the whole back of the house opened up to the backyard, like a little courtyard area, but obviously the front just looked similar to what I've done in the game. But yeah, that's a lot of money for such a small house. It's part that they're all located so close to the city. That's got a lot to do with it. The closer you are to Melbourne, the more expensive it is. It's even worse in Sydney, but you know, it's almost as bad in Melbourne. I think that Melbourne's the second most expensive city to live in, but I think is it Canberra's getting up there? Canberra's getting a lot more expensive, but anyway, who cares? Property value. Wow, so boring. I put some graffiti on the sidewalls because you do often see these houses have been graffitied. They do get cleaned up pretty regularly as far as I know, because they are heritage listed. So I think, and again, I could be completely making this up, but I think there's like some level of maintenance that has to occur. Like, even though it's not the front of the house, it still needs to be kept in some sort of decent condition. But I've added some like cracks to the walls and that to add that sort of vibe that they are old houses. And you do often see like that these houses have cracks and chips and that. So, you know, they're not necessarily derelict, but they're old, but they're well preserved. So yeah, there's some cracks in the walls. I think it adds to that sort of vibe that, you know, these are older houses. And I think the graffiti, like I said, I have seen graffiti on Terrace homes before, like down the side of them, but whether that's like 100% accurate or not, I don't know, I think it just looks cool. It just adds to the sort of feel that these are just on the street in the city sort of thing. I did want to put these in San Myshuno, but I just couldn't find a lot where it looked right at all. That's one thing that I really, playing The Sims 3 again, That's one thing that I really, really miss because like, I've got this weird thing I just want to mention. Whenever I've got the like reshader thing for The Sims, and I've got a preset installed, so that's why the game looks so vibrant. Whenever you move something up or down, it like lightens and darkens the game. It's really frustrating, and I was hoping it wouldn't show up in the recording, but it obviously does, so I do apologize. I don't know how to fix it other than turn my reshader off, and I don't want to do that because it makes the game look so pretty. What was I saying? Wow, I completely forgot. I am the actual worst. Playing around with graffiti, and that was pretty cool, and putting it on the fence, actually I really liked it, but I ended up changing the fence, so rip to that idea. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, what I was talking about. Playing The Sims 3, obviously it's so hard to compare the games because they're so different. You haven't, like, they've completely eliminated a lot of the features that make Sims 3 so great, like creator style, the ability to recolor things. You just got so much less freedom, but you also have the ability to move objects up and down and resize, which I found I missed a lot building in The Sims 3. Like, I missed it so much. But the fact that you can just jump into, what's the city called, Bridgeport in The Sims 3, and you can add like buildings and homes just anywhere you want, so you can be right next to a high rise. That would be perfect for a build like this, because a lot of these houses are just around the city. Like, there'll be a row of shops, and then there'll be a row of terrace homes, and then there'll be like high-rise apartments, you know. They're just like in the mix, whereas we can't replicate that in The Sims 4 because we don't have as much freedom where the lots are. And it's San Myshuno's a really good example because you just can't really place anything anywhere. There's a couple of free lots and that's about it, which is a shame because it's such a beautiful city. The skyline, the view is so pretty. Probably not as good as Bridgeport. I still probably prefer Bridgeport because it's just bigger. But yeah, San Myshuno is my favorite for like scenery. That's the word, for scenery in The Sims 4. Yes, I'm sorry I'm saying and so much. Like, I feel like at one point I was getting better. Like, I'd stopped saying it so much, and because I went I'm saying like a lot as well, apparently. I went so long, like over a week, without doing a voiceover. It's like I just completely lost any ability to speak English, which is great. And I'm getting out of breath like so easily, more and more. Maybe I'm just getting more and more unfit with my old age. Yeah. Probably eating that Oreo beforehand really didn't help. I really regret it now, though. I should have just saved it to afterwards, like my little treat for doing a voiceover, for actually doing something after work. Because recently it's just been like, get home and like flop onto the couch and just don't move for the rest of the night, or playing The Sims 3. Yeah, I have been quite ill, so I think I've deserved my rest. I had some tests done and that, so. Yeah, found out no one probably cares, but I found out I'm lactose intolerant, and I'm also intolerant to omega-5, which is it's like I don't know how exactly it works. It's like a part of omega-5 that's found in like coconut oil, for example, which is really frustrating because being lactose intolerant, you're like, cool, I can still have vegan cheese. I wasn't that comfortable having dairy anyway. We don't have a lot of dairy in this household. We've been drinking soy milk for a long time, and we don't really have yogurt or anything. It was just, cheese. But yeah, you can have vegan cheese, but nearly every vegan cheese that's available is made from coconut oil. And I'm just like, well, damn, what do I eat? But it's going well so far. I've completely avoided dairy, and we've decided, we didn't really eat eggs anyway. So, we don't buy eggs, and cutting out an animal product, basically. We're vegetarian, Chris and I, so we don't have gelatin, and we're pretty strict vegetarian anyway. And like I said, we didn't drink milk, we had soy milk. I'm rambling, but yeah, just found out that I was lactose intolerant. So, but it'd been really kicking my butt. Like, I was getting real sick. I was getting so lethargic, so bloated. Had a few days off work because I was that sick. Like, I didn't feel like I could leave the house. My stomach just did something weird then. Like, even talking about dairy, I'm getting indigestion. But yeah, so everything's on track. I'm feeling a lot better. I start my new job hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I still haven't given notice to work, so whoopsie daisy. But I got like my letter of offer and everything today, so it's all, oh my god, it's all finalized, and I'm so excited because work at the moment is so horrible. We've been understaffed. I've only been at this new job for 10 months, okay, my current job. So I haven't even been there a year and I'm already changing jobs, but it's just this problem that's just everywhere, that's throughout, I don't know, small, it's not even a small business. Like, we're part of a huge company. I'm just a branch of it. But it's just the management. It's just like, no, we're short staffed, but I'm saving money, you know. And we do profit share at work. So it's all about how much money you can save in the business. So it just breeds a pretty unhealthy environment. I think it's just, you know, and it's very competitive. It's like the more you break your back for me, I'll reward you come profit share time. So it's like dangling a carrot in front of your face, like, do all this extra unpaid work and you'll get more money in this one-off payment a year. You might get like a couple of $100 more, and it's like, it's not worth it. It's just unhealthy. It's such an unhealthy environment. I'm not going to rant too much about it, but I'm not going to be in that place much longer anyway. So yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited to start my new job. I'm going to have more time because I think I said in my last video, it's like 5 minutes away from home. I don't even know if I brought this up in my last video. Surely I did. Anyway, this new job's like 5 minutes away from home, not an hour. So I'm going to have like over an hour extra in my day that's just come from not having to travel. So I'm going to have more time to do stuff, and I am super excited. What I'm doing here is I'm just kind of starting to furnish the outdoors, because I was going to try to do this all in one video, and then I was like, I've taken way too long. I did not want to have to do a commentary for a 40-minute video. So I kind of cut it off at one point and decide that I'll finish furnishing in the actual furnishing part of this speed build, which will be up. Hopefully I can do that. I haven't furnished these homes yet, actually, at the time of doing this voiceover. So hopefully I can do that. I might start on it tonight, but it's already 8 o'clock and I'm already getting real tired and grumpy. What I'm really loving at the moment is getting into bed with the laptop and like having a cup of tea and like a biscuit or an Oreo or whatever, and watching Sex and the City. I was stayed up way too late last night because I couldn't sleep. I was up like past 1 a.m, but it's okay, it's fine. We are very fast approaching the screenshots, but I've had to add in a bonus clip because on the way home from work tonight, I realized that I forgot to add columns and spandrels to the exterior, which is a big part of Terrace homes. And I was like, why is this looking so bare? Figured out why. So here I am quickly adding those into the build, pretending like everything is fine and nothing went wrong at all. This build is up on the gallery at the moment, unfurnished, and I will be uploading a furnished version when I get around to it. My origin ID is Terrace, and you can search the hashtag Terrace on the gallery if you want to look at any of my other stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited to kick off this series with Terrace homes. I could do anything with this series. There's so many different kinds of interesting and beautiful homes in Melbourne, modern and traditional. So we'll see where we go with it. I'll just get some inspiration from driving around this beautiful city. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have made it this far, I'll leave you to the screenshots. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I will see you in my next video. Bye.